In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's close the poll and let's look at the results. So we can see we have a mixture here. We have a lot of folks actually that do not have a company page right now. So that's some kind of what I was hoping for, because we're going to actually help you with that today. That's the goal of this meeting, this workshop, if you will. Today will be more of a step-by-step training event than the webinars that maybe you become accustomed to seeing. So you can kind of see where you relate with your company right now compared to others that are on the call with you today. As I said, my name is Brent Martin. I am the Director of Marketing for Arlington. I've been with Arlington for 22 years. Been in the role, this current role with marketing for Carolina Wholesale before we merged with Arlington a couple years ago. And Kelly's Monroe's joining me as she does every week. Kelly, you could tell a little bit about yourself. I know you've got a history in our industry as well beyond Arlington.
So May will be my 25th year in the industry. I spent 22 years at a distributor. It was an awesome experience, and I just missed selling so much. I was managerial, and I really missed my customers. So I came to Digitech 3 years ago, who became Arlington last year. It's been awesome. I have a dream job. I love my customers. I love talking to people.
And we're glad to have you, because you're an incredible asset with your experience to the organization. I'm grateful.
Can you say that again so my boss can hear?
I will, and I think he did hear. If you didn't hear it now, you'll see it on the recording.
I'll play it over and over. Thank you, Brent. Very kind words.
So we're going to get started. We're gonna do a quick recon review, and then we're going to kind of get into the actual LinkedIn, and it's going to be very hands-on and step by step, and we're going to give you some explanations for how things are rolling. But before, we're gonna do a quick little review on COVID-19 and kind of where things have been, what we've seen in the past. I've had a map up there of the stay at home. We looked at that for several. Now we're seeing some things people going home. So I just found this on the CDC. This is just kind of the cases day by day as they've trended. You know, obviously we didn't have a lot of testing in early March, but I just thought this was an interesting graphic to kind of share, you know, where the day by day reported cases are with this dreaded virus. So it's starting to level off. A little decline, depends on what regions you're in. New York, Northeast having a lot harder time than other parts of the country.
Yeah.
But there are signs of encouragement. So as every week, we are still going to talk about what's happened the past week. As we mentioned, stay at home is very murky. There's a lot of states that are beginning to lift their bans, but right now, as of the 28th, they were approaching 1 million cases, approaching 60,000 deaths of the virus. The Commerce Department this last week reported that the economy shrank an estimated 4.8% for Q1. So that's through March, you know, January through March. So that's not taking into account April, and the forecast is grim for the second quarter. The several states began to had their stay-at-homes ending toward the end of April, extended those 7 to 10 days. And this past Monday, the White House revealed Opening Up America Again testing blueprint. So they've kind of set up some and been very involved in the testing, the vaccines that are going on, and they have a blueprint that's out there on whitehouse.org if you're interested. And many more school districts, as we were talking at the onset, have canceled classes, graduations. If they're happening with extreme social distancing and limiting the number of people. So that's the bad news, but I always have Kelly to share some good news.
Yay! He gives me the good part. So as you all have heard, several states in the United States are now lifting their stay-at-home orders. We're all very interested to see what happens. I think today and tomorrow, there's some in the South that are lifting a bunch of different restrictions and hopefully putting people back to work. New York City, I live in Connecticut, so I'm part of that tri-state, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. This is good news for me because it's all combined together. They had a 70% plunge. I think this is the 16th straight day of lower hospitalizations, which is great news for everybody, especially me in the Northeast. France announced they're lifting their lockdown May 11th. So we're seeing some improvement on places that were there before we were here. And Starbucks, I actually told Francis yesterday, I got an alert on my phone that Starbucks is going to open 90% of their locations by the beginning of June. They were only doing their drive-throughs. Brett and I were laughing because he went by a Starbucks and he said it was wrapped around the building twice just to get that coffee because there's only a certain number of drive-throughs. But just again shows that hopefully we're making steps to go back to normal. And then Simon Properties are reopening some malls in Texas, Indiana, Georgia, and Missouri this week. Have no idea what stores will open in there, but the fact that the buildings are open is always good news, and looks like we're starting to make some progress.
Yeah, I read Macy's and Gap aren't, but I think a lot of it's definitely good news for those independent or smaller chains to have that opportunity to open back up in those states. So thank you for the good news. Fact check. So we've been doing a lot of COVID-19 oriented fact checks, but because we're talking about LinkedIn, I thought this was a legitimate question because it's one we've faced a lot. We hear a lot. And the question is, isn't LinkedIn just a job hunting website? And while it's true, since 2002 when the site was launched, millions of people have used LinkedIn to find jobs, to secure positions, to employers to find employees. And as that's happened, hundreds of thousands of us as users have begun to connect and befriend colleagues, clients, other folks that we've come in contact with. I myself have been on LinkedIn probably a little over 10 years, I'm guessing. And, started short, someone recommended it to me and it was, hey, you should get yourself out there. And then you begin to connect with different vendors, different customers. And before you know it, after, after a decade, you have hundreds and hundreds of folks that every time I post something on there, people are seeing it. So it really got us to kind of reshape within the last couple of years, just thinking, why should we not be using this tool to promote our business?
Right.
Those like us like Kelly and I that are happily employed, we're not using LinkedIn to find a job, another job for ourselves, but we're using it rather to promote what we can do for folks in our current job at Arlington, and we're encouraging our colleagues within Arlington to do the same thing. So that's kind of the origins of this this webinar series that we're doing with the workshops, and it seems like an appropriate time. I saw this comic and it kind of made me. It's dated because it mentions MySpace. If anyone remembers that. But it's the lady, the missing person, searching. She's been searching everywhere for her husband or for whoever, her loved one. She's checked Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, LinkedIn, and I thought that was kind of appropriate now because in this stay at home, from a marketing perspective, as somebody who does that for a living, as most of you do to some degree, it's been a challenge for us. That it's been a challenge for us to identify where people are.
Right. And you can't connect in a real world environment right now. Your best bet is to connect through a LinkedIn or some kind of portal like that.
That's
and we talk about it being a customer resume, not a job resume, but more of a customer resume. What can you do for your customers now in this crazy time or forever? What can you provide for your customers through your company?
So yeah, in a way, and from the standpoint of where people are, of course, people can, like, they're going to be more inbound, if you would, marketing opportunities for you, and LinkedIn's a great digital resource for that. we did a mail order flyer. We do a flyer every quarter that we send out to our customers, and it was a challenge in April because we know a lot of those were hitting mailboxes that weren't, that weren't going to be receiving that mail probably for a few weeks at least. So yeah, we found a lot of value in our inbound marketing through LinkedIn. So that gets into exactly what we're here for today. It's the LinkedIn 201 workshop. So if you didn't come here looking for a step-by-step tutorial, this is being recorded. I saw some of you were asking that in the questions tab. This will be recorded. So if you have somebody else, you're thinking, oh, I wish I could get that person in here right now to watch this, have no fear. Within 24 hours, we'll have this up at arley.com/webinars for you to review. I'm also going to post it on an unpublished page or hidden page within YouTube. And if any of you are looking for that one, we found YouTube could work. We like to put it on demand so we can see who's watching them. But if you're on this call and you'd like to get the YouTube link, just email me after this and we'll send it to you. It allows you to go back and rewatch things a lot easier than what the webinar session does. But so what we did in LinkedIn 101 is I began building this fictitious profile for myself with this fictitious company, Blue Ridge Marketing Solutions. And I want to expand upon that. While I mentioned you can go back and watch 101 on demand at arley.com/webinars. The point of this now is to represent Blue Ridge Marketing Solutions and to build a company page for Blue Ridge. So the way that you do that, and again, this is going to be step by step, so bear with me. Under the Work tab within your session, when you click that the drop down there, if it would cooperate with me, there's an option right down here to create a company page, and it gives you a few options there, identifying who your business is. Showcase page, that's something that we'll get into later, or if you're in educational, most of you probably aren't. So I imagine most of you would fall under the category of small business, which is what we're going to do here as well. And it's all pretty simple right here. I mean, you're just creating a company name, however you'd like to brand yourself in there. Now LinkedIn is going to identify a default name. If you want to brand this later with LinkedIn that company, you may want to try first to maybe abbreviate a little, see if those names if another name's available. I'm going to go marketing. That one's available, so I'm just going to keep it all together /Blue Ridge Marketing. Then you can get a company site. So what's your URL? What's your company URL? Well, for the sake of this exercise, I went to Wix. I've never used Wix in my life, but within 10 minutes, I created this little fictitious Blue Ridge copier, and it actually does have a URL. So I'm going to take the URL from this fictitious company site. And I think it's worth noting at this point, Kelly, I'm going to pull this stuff down after this meeting's. Yeah, my intention is not to end up faking people out that there's a business out here. So I will take down these all these profiles afterwards. So yeah, so that's important. Now you have your company site, and then what industry are you in? Now this is almost very similar to most of you who have set up companies to like the SIC standard categorization of companies. You'll find various companies in there. A lot of us are probably in information technology services or something along those lines. Well, for the sake of this marketing firm, I'm going to assign this myself as marketing and advertising. I'm going to say I'm a small company, 0 to 1 employees, and I'm going to say I'm self-employed as well. So profile details. So this is kind of key. So what I suggest you do is if you have a tagline, that this is what you put here. We'll get to later where you can put in a company description. So like on this fictitious site, I have propel your brand with Blue Ridge Marketing Solutions. I've done that. Before you actually go through this process and even begin this, what I'd recommend you do is maybe come up with the tagline, identify, and we'll see as we go through what your company description is going to be. Most of us probably have an About Us page on our website, that sort of content. What I did beforehand was actually created a Word document where I copied this information into it. So make it a little easier for us as we go through. So I have my tagline, propel your brand with Blue Ridge marketing solutions. So I'm going to take that back over here into the tagline field. I'm just going to do a Control V and copy that, paste that in here. For your logo, this is again is a company page, so you want to use your company logo in this spot. And what I did is created a couple, but I think we'll use this one here in this space for Blue Ridge. And then I'm going to verify that I'm authorized to make these decisions on behalf of Blue Ridge. Since I made it up, I think I am. And it gives you this default message. You have a company feed, and I'm just going to say get started. And then you've built your page. You actually have the page started. And the nice thing up here that LinkedIn does is it gives you this kind of production thing. You've probably seen it on your own profile, you know, how complete your page is. So as you end up knocking things off your list, as you create your page, it helps you. So now we get to the description. This is what I talked about before, where it's more like your About Us content.
Yep.
So I have that as well saved in this document. Took it from the website. Again, this is default
But you made
content
up.
from yeah, it's just it's junk data that's in there for this. So I have my URL. All this stuff already came in from what we just did. But you'll notice you also have the ability to add a phone number in there if you wanted to do that. I think I do actually have the phone number on this company page. I use my Google Voice number. So I'm gonna actually put that in there as well. And then I can actually just say I founded this company 2019. So okay, so those are the main things that you got in there. I didn't like my phone number, did it, Kelly? Let's see.
Probably the yeah, I would guess it's the
Okay, so it likes it now.
parentheses. Maybe.
Huh? Maybe it doesn't like the fact that I have a Google number.
That's Google.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't run into that before. Okay, so we'll just skip that step here. But there's an interesting thing at the bottom. A lot of folks miss this, and I have this starred out as something that's important. It's add
Yeah.
a specialty. A lot of folks will skip this step, but this is important because this is where you can type in some keywords that would identify your business well when someone's searching it. So in the case of Arlington, you know, we put wholesale distributor, office products, imaging supplies, data storage, those sort of things. The case of a marketing agency, I'd probably put something in here like digital marketing, added in there, just branding.
So these are tag words. So if someone types into the search bar, hopefully you'll return.
That's
of
right.
LinkedIn. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
Kind
Yeah.
of like
So
the hashtag. Yeah.
that's right. So whatever kind of like exactly like a hashtag for those of you using social media, or if you've done any web design, you have things called meta tags or keywords that are associated with your analytics and your site to help improve your SEO. Same concept here with specialties, but it's tucked away there at the bottom, so a lot of folks will
Just miss
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll miss it. So I put that as a top 5 thing that you want to consider as you do this. So we can save that data. Changes are saved. Locations. If I had a location I wanted to post, I can do that. I can do that there. Hashtags is another thing. So if you have a hashtag like we use for Arlington, your best source is kind of our tagline. We'll do a hashtag your best source. It actually gives me some default like Blue Ridge Marketing. I could say like propel your business. So that's kind of my tagline. and create those hashtags that I'm associating with that. Again, it helps. Again, could help you in your SEO as you begin to get people that would use those things. So you might want to find things that are even a little more common, as well, to affiliate with that as well. Feature groups, I really don't do that, but there are groups that you can be a part of if you want to do that. That I don't think that's a requirement, and I won't get into that too much today. But you can see I've gotten a little further in my page design. So here's the big thing. So now that you want to brand your business, right? So one thing, if
Fred,
there's one,
Fred, let me interrupt one quick question
yeah,
because it's pertinent to the. Someone asked if there was a limit to the keywords that you could put in. Do you know if
20.
there was a limit? 20. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
it'll let you put up to 20. Thank you for asking that. Good question. But yeah, it'll let you put up to 20.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, so then the next thing is you want the one thing that really gets kind of irks me more than anything as a marketing guy is I go to a company page and it's got the standard like blue design background behind the company. It's really a disservice to your company if you're doing that. You need to brand yourself. I know we're not all, we may not all have graphic designers on staff or anything like that to help us, but you can use some Microsoft tools and pretty basically put something together. I'll show you what I did. So I mentioned that we had I had this personal page here. Let's see, that I created, right? Can I open that back up without leaving here? Let's see. Yeah. So this is the 201. During the 201 session, we created this personal login, and I took this design from my the pseudo page I created, right? I showed you just a little while ago. So
Yeah.
you'll notice when you build this background, while it's horizontal in nature, it's not as horizontal. It's much more horizontal at this level. I won't bore you with the numbers, but instead of 1500 by 400, it's like 1100 by less than 200. So it's a much thinner tab. So if I were to try to put in the let me get out of here. I got my go to webinar screen in the way. If I were to try to put in a design like the same one I used on the other site, on the other page, it may not really work as well, right? You got the book cut off. It doesn't really speak as well. So this may be something you play with a little bit. So in the case of what I did this earlier today is I went out and I actually said, okay, I want to do something a little different here than what's on the website. I'm just going to put my brand out there. So I went to Pixabay. If you guys remember going into our free marketing resources last week, Pixabay is a free stock image site. I just found this shot of the Smoky Mountains. I brought it into a publisher file, which is part of my um, Adobe, or what do I say, Adobe, my Windows suite, and or Office suite, I should say. And I created another image here with that background and just kind of the logo over it, and thought that looked a little better. So again, so now I have something instantly kind of branding my name up there. I got my other little smaller logo that you saw me upload on the first step when we created the company page, and we basically have a branded site to some degree.
Yeah.
I haven't added locations. Some other posts haven't been up there yet, so you see my scores are down. But we have established a page. We have specialties assigned to it, and we can begin posting data at this point. So the one thing I'm going to do is just kind of, because I want to be mindful of time. This is the whole idea here was really kind of show you the first steps and why it's important to do certain things. But the key thing I want to get across here with everybody right now was that once you had the site created, it's really important to make this a part of your regular marketing, within your
Yeah.
organization. Now, uh, so one thing that we've done at Arlington, especially just since a lot of us are in a stay at home, is we've asked our reps that are working from home as well, just to begin to submit videos and content and give that to us so we can share it with on our Arlington page, just to get that personal feel and that personal message out, which I think is important during this time. So we encourage you to do that sort of thing. Another thing that we'll probably talk about in a future webinar is creating video, and
Yeah.
how you can do that. I took liberty of doing that, and I actually just created using a third party called Render Forest. I just created this free Render Forest video. So I'm just going to say, just put in a quick post here. Check us out.
And Render Forest is also another free marketing service we went through in our when we did our 5 tips for free marketing you can get. You
Yeah.
could
So
see
what I'm
that
going to
on
show you. So what I'm gonna upload is a video. I threw this together in 30 minutes. Just took some stock images that were on their website. I could put some hashtags in here. We always recommend doing that. They help you out, right? They get marketing strategies.
Since you're talking about the hashtags, one of the questions came over is, how do I know which hashtags to use? How do I use hashtags?
Good question. Yeah, so a lot of so people might search for a subject just on a hashtag. So if someone's looking for marketing insights, they might just type in the search field marketing insights. After we post this, I can show you how that works. But
Yeah.
so just you want to think about a topic or word, a keyword almost, if you will, that people might want to might associate with this message,
Right.
whatever it is that you're posting. So this quick little video, it's going to take a few seconds to upload. But once we do this, then we'll have a site that is up, that's launched, and has video content out there, and ready to be shared. Now,
And a fresh post, right? We talked about that a little bit too. A fresh post. I mean, how many posts would you recommend that they put on their LinkedIn company page? Weekly, monthly?
at least weekly. I think you want to at least have a message weekly. That there are times with video content when I have great reps that are sending me a lot of videos. It's easy to do them daily, and I love that. And getting that, because the key is with LinkedIn is it's all about hitting people at the time, right? It's all timing. A lot of it's timing. When someone's logged in the site, they're looking at their feed. Now, again, if someone's connected with you, they may see something that you posted a week ago or a month ago on their feed. But yeah, the more fresh content you can put out there, the more likely you are to get an impression, and to hit somebody with it.
Well, and
So
it's
let me
just
do
like any other kind of marketing where you can actually reach out to those customers weekly by them just seeing your post and being top of mind. That's what we're trying to get, mind share.
That's right. That's right. So
Okay.
now I should see that. So now I have this video that I created on Render Forest. This is what you get for free, the one that has the actual Render Forest watermark on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay a small amount. I think it's $10, $20, something like that, if you want to get an exported video without that. It may be less than that, actually. But you can upload images. You can use stock photos. Everything I used in here, other than the little logo that I created that I used for the website, was all created just using their stock forms, and it just gives you text fields filled out. Again, check it out. I mean, it's free if you want to try it. Do one with a watermark, or a few bucks if you want to export one without it. So now you have a professional video. You can put that video out not only on, I just posted it here, but if you had a Twitter account or Facebook account or Instagram, you could
Everywhere.
you could share those videos out there as well. So
Yep.
a lot of value in video. If you go to if you follow us on Arlington, I hope you all are. If you're not, please do connect with us there. You'll see what we've done. I've created a series of webinars, or a series of posts, excuse me, webinars in my mind. A series of posts from our account executives, sales managers, executives within Arlington, and I've used Render Forest with the paid service without the watermarks to capture those videos. So everything that you see that I've put out there on LinkedIn this week is coming from Render Forest. So
Right. And then
great tool.
also when it's the videos from the sales rep, sorry to interrupt you. It's from our cell phone. I do it from my cell phone. It's simple. I edit it on my iPhone. I figured out, Brent showed me in about 13 seconds how to edit my videos, which I never knew how to do before. It's super easy. And I just post that myself. And that would be easy for you to do. And people like to see the people that they're working with, especially here. We're not on the road as much. I mean, people may have met me because I go to a lot of trade shows. I visit a lot of customers. So a lot of our people are inside and they don't get to see their customers. They like that. And I would recommend that for you too, to really boast the people, because people still buy from people regardless.
Yeah, yeah, and Ed, you asked a good question. Yeah, the question was, I put the video up, but I didn't really have a call to action on that video. I missed that. Yeah, so good point. When doing a post, which I failed to do, what I should have done is actually gone in and like go into my website. Let's do a copy. I'm just going to do a copy of the URL, and I can still go in and edit this. So that's another, you're getting a little
Yeah.
bonus here. So this is how you can go in and fix something after you've messed up, and you're lucky enough to have guys like Ed to help you, remind you. So I can just put in a learn more, if I can spell it right, and throw the URL in there, and save it. And now I have a LinkedIn. They shortened it, but so now I go to this post, like someone comes in the post, they can click on that,
Go
and
right to
it'll
your website.
drive them to
Right.
my webpage. So
Right.
yeah,
Great
thanks for
point.
pointing.
Yeah, that's really what we're trying to get across on this too, is everything can lead back to your website and your company. Whether it's a company page on LinkedIn, it's your own personal page on LinkedIn, it can all lead back to your website.
That's right. That's right. So we hope this was helpful. Again, I hope what I was hoping to share in this 30 minutes was just how simple it can be to create
Yeah.
the page. First off, that you're not talking about some huge task. If you need help on this, I hope the recording helps you step by step, following along in creating this. And the important things to remember, I just kind of sum things up with these 8 bullets. I think it's important that when you do the page, that you make sure it's reflective on what your business is today. And this is talking to more of that majority of our poll, minority, if you will, that poll. I think it was a smaller percentage that had a site that maybe is not being updated. You definitely want to update it. You want to make sure it's reflecting what you're doing now, that you're not giving away a free iPod with your next order. That is something that's more current to today. And that you're making this a part of your regular weekly marketing plan, and then distributing that and sharing it with your staff and your employees. I think a lot of times it's and I've been guilty of this myself in my role, is not sharing the stuff I'm doing on social media as
Mm-hmm.
much as I would share like the flyer that's going out, or the digital flip book, or the
Right.
email campaign that's going out, to make sure that you're distributing the content that may differ from those things out on LinkedIn with your staff, so they know, so that they also, you can encourage them to share that content from their own LinkedIn connection. So that's something we've been trying to do with our staff. I hope you're connected with your account executive here. If you're not, I hope they reach out to you or you reach out to them and do that, so that you can start seeing your feed, not only from the Arlington feed, they can see from those people's contact feeds when they're liking or making comments on things. Also, keeping this integrated with your marketing strategies. Now you saw that the video I did was very much more of like a corporate identity. thing I wasn't offering. Call now and get 10% off your order. We try to stay away from sales promotions on LinkedIn, um, but are creative in creating value still with our messaging. So, but integrate that with your marketing strategy, whatever it is you're doing. And again, try to make this a social experience. Like, engage folks. Look out for comments. That's crucial.
Yeah.
Whoever it is that's managing your company page, make sure that they're, after they put a post in there, that they're following up when a customer or a prospect comes in and makes a comment on something that you've added. It's really important to like it, and interact as much as you can with them. And
Right.
as Kelly mentioned on the onset, develop that culture within your organization of using LinkedIn as a customer resume, from your company
Yeah.
page to your individual employees' profiles. Use LinkedIn as a customer resume to build your business. And one way that we're doing that is offering a LinkedIn bootcamp that we are pleased to announce right here. Breaking news, is going to be extended for another month. So we're excited to mention that we've had, was it over 400 seats?
400 people have gone on and taken our training on LinkedIn in the last 2 weeks. Yeah. So if you don't mind, I'd love to tell a little bit about this.
Yeah,
So
please.
the LinkedIn Bootcamp that we offer is online, on-demand training. It can be done from any device, from any location. So perfect right now, people trapped at home. We will take you through 7 steps to either update or create your LinkedIn profile. This is the personal profile, not the company profile that we just went through. Then we'll take you through how to use it. So now you have a great LinkedIn profile. What do you do with it? Take you through making connections, posting, and sharing. And this is free. It's about an hour and a half of training, somewhere around there. The first 7 steps take about 45 minutes, depending how prepared you are. If you have you need a photo of yourself, because we have to put a photo on LinkedIn. You need background. So as long as you have those things, the rest of it is like copy and paste, super easy to do with a little bit of adjustment on what makes you special. But it takes very little time. It's normally $150 a person. So we're offering it for free now through the end of May. Yay!
Yeah, and again, this is a great follow-up right now for your staff, your employees, as you're encouraging them to consider using their LinkedIn account as a customer resume.
Mm-hmm.
Great opportunity to put them through this course that'll help them just set them up perfectly for this. And what better time than now to develop, have
Right.
a project like this for your team.
Right. And they can start connecting with people when they can't see them face to face.
Yep. Yep. So good questions. I think we've answered most of the questions that have come in, but we want to take any more questions that you might have. We also
So,
want to remind you that we have another webinar session next week.
mm-hmm.
We're excited to have guests from Intech, ISG, Brian Stevenson and Tanya Ross are going to join us. And we're excited because on Monday, they're doing a virtual trade show this coming Monday.
Yeah.
They're going to be launching to their buying group. So we're really excited to get a chance to meet with them just 4 days later to discuss this event with them. Really cutting edge technology and innovation that they're going to be utilizing in this meeting on Monday. So it'll be really interesting to hear how that went and what kind of ideas we can get from that. How it may be able to shape what we're doing moving forward.
So we did have just a few questions before we close. Where can I get the free LinkedIn training? Go to arlie.com, look up promotions, and it's called LinkedIn Bootcamp. Just that photo you saw with that lady's picture, it looks exactly the same. Click that, and it just brings you to a quick registration page. It asks you your name, the company name, and your email address, and how many people are going to be using it. That's pretty much what it does. And then someone else said, can I make my personal LinkedIn account a company account? And it would be 2 separate things. You have your own account as a human being, and then you would have the company account. Am I correct, Brent?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If there's any other questions,
That
feel
was
free to.
was that Paul's question you were asking there for the
Yeah,
last one?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if the first step I did when I created that website from my own personal account was let's see, where was it? Was using the work drop down here, and it was down there at the bottom. Create a company
Okay.
page. So I was just logged in as me with my LinkedIn account, and it gave me the ability to create that page. So yeah, you can just you don't need any special account, just your regular LinkedIn account, and you can create a page that way.
Right, and it doesn't change their own personal account. It just creates a company page instead. In
That's
addition,
right.
I should
Yeah,
say. Gotcha.
it's a whole different page that you're creating.
All brand new page. Okay, I just want to make sure
And,
we were clear on that.
and I didn't have time to even to get into it, but another thing that's neat to look into and tapping once you do create your own page is that you can create sub pages off that called showcase pages, where
Oh,
you could specialize on, say, something like LinkedIn Bootcamp for Arlington, and have a whole like separate LinkedIn Bootcamp sub page on LinkedIn for that. Or maybe you're offering some kind of program. You could create a sub page for your company's page for that specific program, so you can promote and drive accounts to that
sounds
specifically.
like a
Yeah.
LinkedIn 301 to me, Brent.
Uh, Let us know if you want to learn more about that. Maybe we'll do a LinkedIn
Yeah.
301 in a couple months. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we hope this information was helpful. We thank you all for joining us. There's a lot of you on the call today. We're thankful for your support, for coming back every week, and we hope you join us next week with Brian and Tanya. I don't see any other questions. Thank you for those nice comments that are coming in. So we're going to wrap it up, Kelly, for the week. What do you
All
say?
right. Yeah, sounds great. Thank you for coming.
Thank you all for coming in, joining us, and remember this will be available on arley.com/webinars within the next 24 hours if you want to share it. If you want a YouTube link to it, email me. My email's right there, bmartin@arley.com, and I can send you the YouTube link.
And
Thank you
link in
again for
with us.
joining us.
Thank you.
All right, take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.